Well, hi everybody. How is it going? How are you doing? Let me adjust here a little bit. Hope all is well. Listen, I want to talk about flipping today. Flipping and maybe flopping. A lot of people that I talk to who are in the real estate investment market have done a flip. Like when I talk about flip, and you know what it is if you've done it, you buy a house, you renovate it, and then you sell it and you make the money. You turn it around fairly quickly. That's why they call it flipping. So if you've flipped one or two houses, a lot of people that I've talked to who are in real estate investing have flipped houses and they just haven't had the a good experience with it. Like they didn't get the money they want out of it. They felt like it was, too much effort. It wasn't worth it. All of the things. Maybe even they lost money, right? So if you've done this, if you've been involved in flipping and you flipped one or two houses, and you've thought to yourself, man, I didn't make that much money. I put tons of time into it. I had problems with contractors. The house didn't sell for what I thought. I didn't put as much money in my pocket as all the things that I was told. And you did it all yourself. You did it all yourself. And at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, I've done that, but there has to be an easier way to make money. And especially with flipping, there has to be an easier way than this. I want to tell you, you're right. You're right. Most people, and I'm going to tell you the truth here, most people don't fail at flipping a property because real estate doesn't work. I'm going to say that again. It is not that your flip went bad or it didn't, bring in the money, it didn't bring in the resources you wanted, because real estate doesn't work. Most people who got involved in flipping, hey, how are you? Say hi. I'm glad to have you here. Most people that got involved in flipping, it didn't go as well as they wanted, especially when they're doing it themselves. It's because you're trying to do too much. You're being the investor, you're being the contractor. Maybe you're doing the work yourself. Maybe you did the work yourself, or you are trying to manage contractors, and you're being the project manager, and you're designing the house, and you're being the bookkeeper to keep up with how much money you're spending or not spending, and how much the overages are, and you're trying to find why am I talking and no one's chatting? I don't know. Chat to me. That's great. I'd love to have you chat with me. You're trying to be the lender. You're trying to deal with the lenders, to find the lenders, and then once you get the project done, you're being the marketer too. And this is happening all at once. So I'm going to dive into real estate flipping today. And I'm going to talk about and explain why I don't believe that it's the smartest idea to use flipping and do done for you. I mean, do it for yourself. Do it yourself anymore. I don't think that flipping's the best way to build wealth in real estate, that way in real estate investing anymore. Because most people think, if I jump in here and I get a house and I get it for, well, first of all, they usually don't get the house for what they should. And so there's not enough meat on the bone when they begin with it. But then they think, if I just, work hard on this, if I do most of the work, if I take a flip project and I tear out the walls and I put in the cabinets, and they've watched some of those shows, the HGTV shows, and then they, think, okay, well, if I've watched those, then I should be able to do this too, because what they're doing looks pretty smooth and pretty simple. I mean, anybody can do that. So you watch YouTube. And then you go out and you get the house. The real estate agent shows you some houses. You're not quite sure what you're looking for, why you're looking for it, but you try to find one that's cheap. So you buy one, and then you got to find your contractors, and you try to find the cheapest one so you can save money. Well, I can tell you, I'm not telling you to spend the most money on a contractor, but Finding the cheapest ones often is the biggest mistake because they may not know what they're doing, they may not show up, and you might be in for a big old mess. So knowing how to get contractors is really, really important. So they find the cheapest contractors, and then they go forward, marching in, doing the demo, managing the project all by themselves, thinking, if I just do most of this, I'll make more money. And almost always, and you can write this down, you will lose money doing that way. They make less money. Why? Why should I stop wasting my time and go to church and ask for forgiveness? Forgiveness for what, my love? That's a funny comment. Thank you for that comment. How is my day going today? My day is good. How are you doing, Philip? It's good to talk to you. Thanks for saying hi. Hey, by the way, if you're just joining on and you're not subscribed to this channel, I haven't been on here for about a week, but life has gotten pretty busy. I would love it if you would go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you're hearing something about flipping that, you've always thought about real estate investing, and you've always thought about, well, how does this work and what works, or you've had some experience with it, I'd love to hear your experience. And you should, go ahead and like and subscribe. So, okay, so when you try to do all this yourself with doing a flip, you're thinking to yourself, I'll just make more money. It'll be better if I do it all, right? We think if we work harder, we're going to make the most money. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I appreciate that, Philip. And what happens, though, is that's like the backwards thought in this process, and you usually make less money because this turns into, when you don't know exactly what you're doing, you don't have the right contractors, you don't have the right project, it can get expensive, and mistakes can get expensive. And the most expensive mistakes, it isn't just about paint color and choosing paint color. It's like buying the wrong property, like I already said. It's like having a contractor that shows up drunk or does something that they don't know how to do and they're telling you they do. And I mean, it is just a myriad of problems. Or you got to fire a contractor and then you don't have anybody because they're messing stuff up, or it takes too long to do because you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to talk about the 4 important places. If you're interested in flipping and or you've done flipping before, 4 places that flips where you make your money, this is like 4 places where they're won and lost. So the first most important place is buying it in the right place, buying it for the right price. Okay. You don't make money when you sell the house. I know we all think, we're going to do this, we're going to put all that money into it, we're going to build this house up and da-da-da-da. You don't make the money when you sell the house. You make your money on a flip when you buy the house. Write this down. If you're interested in this, hi. Glad to see you. Saying hi to everybody, jumping on. I appreciate it. You make money when you buy the house, okay? So if you go into the wrong neighborhood, you buy something out in the sticks where it's hard to get to, it might be a really good price, but nobody can, get to the store, and there's not good roads, or even you buy something in the city and it's in a neighborhood that's really priced high, and, people aren't really buying high right now, it can be a killer for your profits. So buying in the wrong neighborhood is really, really a big mistake, and it happens a lot. Buying on the wrong street even, people aren't feeling safe. A wrong layout. I've had some experience where people were in a community where there were a lot of ranch style houses, and that's like one floor, right? And then there's a couple of houses in the community that are what they call split level, where there's a part that's kind of a basement kind of area, and then you go up the stairs and the rest of the house is up above. And so there are a few little split levels in this ranch style neighborhood, and they're really hard to sell. People don't want them. It's not the layout they want anymore. So that can be really problematic. And you got a really good price on it, so you buy the thing, and then it goes bad. You get the wrong ARV. There's not enough margin in there. I'm going to tell you the truth, and not to offend any real estate agents that are on here, but a lot of real estate agents don't understand investing real estate. And so you'll find a realtor that's showing you properties, and I'm talking now where you lose money is not buying in the right neighborhood. And they're showing you properties that they say are for investors, and they're a little bit discounted, but they're not the right amount of discount. So there's enough what I call meat on the bone there. So that margin, like we say, isn't there for you to put the money in your pocket when you're done. Once you get done fixing it, and once you get done marketing it, and once you get done paying for your loan costs, it could be no money in your pocket. And it seems like it from the beginning, like it's cheaper than the other stuff in the neighborhood. It's, I should say, discounted from the other stuff in the neighborhood. But if there's no margin, you don't have a flip. You just have a project that you spent your time on and you didn't make money. So meat on the bone is super, super important. And I will tell you that my organization and myself, after doing this literally for 30 years, I will not take a project that I cannot see, that does not bring me, after we've done the renovation, after I've paid the loan costs, after I pay the realtor, does not have at least $50,000 US dollars, what I call meat on the bone. So that's usually, just to give you information, if you're looking for houses and you're looking for the right neighborhood and the right deal, it's usually a spread of about $100,000 or more between what you'd buy the house for and when you get done, what you could sell it for. At least $100,000 different. And many realtors will try to tell you it's a great deal if it's $30,000 left. You're not going to make any money on that. So that's the first part, buying the right house. You make your money when you buy, okay? And then evaluating it correctly. This is a real dangerous one. And by the way, I'm going to say hi to everybody who said hi. Hi. We're talking real estate today. We're diving into why your flips are not making the money, why you maybe haven't had a good experience with flipping, and what to understand about that. Trying to help you out with that. So if you're signing on for the first time and you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you'd subscribe to this channel. I talk a lot about real estate and purpose. I call it real estate on purpose. And that's about having real estate be a vehicle to fund your big dreams, to fund what you really want to have in your life and your purpose. So, okay. So the second point where you make money on a flip, and it's a no contest conversation, is evaluating the property correctly. So people underestimate renovations all the time. I have underestimated renovations. Unfortunately, I have underestimated, with a lot of experience, renovations for clients, and it's not a good idea. It's not a good turn of events. So people underestimate renovations all the time. There could be, if you don't know how to evaluate structural issues or hadn't had somebody look at the foundation of the house, there could be stuff falling apart underneath the house. You could have permits that you need to pull that you didn't know about, and that stops you for months, or that you have to do specific things for a permit. Like, I'm talking specifically about evaluating properties. The roof could need to be replaced and you didn't notice that. An HVAC system. Really, the big things that you lose a lot of money on properties when you evaluate them is the kind of the systems of the house, the plumbing, the HVAC, and then how long is it going to sit there? Is it in a neighborhood where people want to buy? Is it in a city where there's a lot of movement of the properties and those kind of things? Are things just sitting around in this? Is it a smaller town? Because right now in real estate marketing, the smaller towns, things are sitting around. So your holding costs would be higher in that case. So your bad evaluation in a bad neighborhood sets you up to not have a good experience flipping a house. So you can be losing profit even before, one sledgehammer is put in for demo to take care of it. And then the next thing, oh boy, is the construction management. And this is probably the biggest frustration of anybody I know who has done a done for yourself flip, is managing contractors. Because contractors can, I'm not saying they're bad. I have wonderful contractors, but you have to know how to find them, and you have to know how to deal with them, and you have to, all of that stuff. But just finding anybody like off of Facebook can be a real problem. They can disappear on you, take your money. I've had that happen myself, plenty. Materials coming in late. Then, you're delayed because they're not doing stuff right, and your inspections fail. Your budgets can turn into craziness. I had this contractor once that came in after I fired somebody, and he said, well, I won't give you a project cost, and I just work by the hour, and it ends up working out, about the same or whatever. It did not, and it was a huge mistake I made. I ended up blowing that budget up for that flip, and I probably paid double what I should have get the house finished. It was terrible. And he was slow. Time in a flip kills your profits, because you got holding costs. You've got, stuff that's just sitting around. Your time is an enemy in flipping properties and doing real estate investing. So, in my world, I've spent a lot of time, because I've learned this stuff, unfortunately, and fortunately for other people, fortunately for you, the hard way. And so in my world, we have contractors that we vetted, they're trusted, we work with them over and over again, we pay them pretty well, they know the systems, they have a way, they have already material lists that we use, all the things. We have an entire system of how we do flips. So we get in and get out. Every once in a while, you come up on something you didn't expect. That happens in every single real estate investment I've ever been in. But we know how to find the property. We know how to find the right neighborhood. We know how to find the deals. We know how to manage the contractors, and all of those pieces are put together. But many people who are doing it themselves don't have that. And then you get done, okay? This is a fourth point of where money can be lost in your flip. And now you got to sell the house, right? So just because the house is really beautiful, I know some people that just overspend on flipping a house. Like they'll have gold-plated stuff in the bathroom. They'll have marble on the floors, and kind of overspend. And it's absolutely beautiful. It really is a beautiful product, but they've spent too much money. And just because it's beautiful doesn't mean it's automatically going to sell. If it's in the wrong neighborhood, if it's not the right layout, or or there's some new houses right down the road that are a lot cheaper, even though the product isn't as nice, that can hurt you. So selling a house is not just it's about pricing, but it's also about positioning and marketing, and how you take photos, and being able to negotiate it, and it's all the things. And could you offer buyer financing? What are some ways to sell this thing creatively if you need to? Every single month costs you money. Okay, so all of these parts are pressure points and affecting your profit. And it is exactly why people that jump into doing their own flips over and over and over again lose money, or don't make as much as they thought. Whereas my clients make at least 50,000, sometimes more than that, like 90. I've got one that's getting ready to sell a house that is going to make about $90,000 on it. And so, because we know how to put that all together, right? So this is why I started doing done for you. I do done for you projects for people that want to flip, that want to invest in real estate. It can also be for rentals, developing a rental portfolio or multifamily, but I'm talking about flips today in particular. It's something I realized years ago, that really most people that are in real estate are not really interested in becoming experts. They're interested in making the money, right? They want the wealth that real estate creates. And they want the wealth, and please say me if you're interested in the wealth that real estate creates. they don't really want to be experts in how do you evaluate a house for renovation. How do you find the right one? How do you find the one? They want the money. They want the profits, right? And so that is why they're in it, because they want to fund really their lifestyle. They want to fund a legacy for their kids, or, something, being able to travel more often, leaving their job, whatever it is. But they're not really, most people that, are invested in real estate are not about becoming experts like we are. So they want, it's different. Becoming an expert in real estate investing is different, right? It's kind of like, why there's accountants, right? We don't do our own taxes because there's accountants. People hire attorneys because they have expertise in legal words and legal structure. People hire financial planners because, they can advise them and direct them on to where they put their money and how to invest their money. So I think it's just really good sense to know that you don't necessarily want to be an expert in house flipping or an expert in real estate investing. And then to go, okay, so you've realized that, let me go hire an expert in that. Let me go hire an experienced operator to run my flip, with the expectation, like, real estate's a little bit, you can't always say it's going to be exactly this because it's an investment, but with the expectation that this experienced operator has the systems, has the ability, has what it needs to find the place, to run the project and market it and sell it and make at least an X amount of money from it, profit $50,000. So why not hire an experienced operator to run a flip? So that is what I've done, is I've put together the done for you real estate flipping project opportunity. And this is how it goes. So we do almost everything. We go find the place. We make sure it's priced right. We won't buy anything that doesn't at least give $50,000 in profit. We only go, like I said, we only go after deals that are $50,000 or more. We get in the neighborhood. We do research about the neighborhood. We do research about how things are selling, how fast they're selling in that neighborhood, what they're selling for, what are the prices we need to land at. We have all of the numbers totally and completely evaluated, how much we have our contractors look at it before, to look at the structure, to look at the HVAC systems, all the things, to make sure we know the numbers before it's committed to, before we make an offer on that property. And then the person who's the investor makes the purchase and owns the property. So you, as the investor, don't have me owning your property and trying to, take charge of your property. You own it. If you like it when it's done, you could even move into it, and some people do. And that's the beauty of it. It's yours. It's your property in your portfolio. But then we go do everything else. We bring our contractors in. We make and we help you know the financial people that can help you finance. Because one thing that's a myth about buying real estate, and the reason that a lot of people don't go into it, is they think they don't have the money for it. And they think they got to have all the money to be able to buy the house and do the renovation to be able to do it. And that's such a myth. There's plenty of funders out there that'll give you 90% of the loan to value and fund 100% of your renovation. So if you have a little bit of money, you can get into this. So but we can bring you in front of those, in my world, we have those people that are connected with us, and we can bring you in front of them, and those financial people that can help you get the loan. And then we take over and we manage the renovation, make sure it's all done. We first design it. Of course, all of this is passed by you. We're showing you this. I'm meeting with you once a week to give you the update and talk about what we're doing. But we manage the renovation. We coordinate and manage the contractors. We work with our trusted contractors who are, who know what they're doing, and we know that. We have a project manager that oversees the project from start to finish. And then when you're done, we bring in our real estate agents, which you don't need to have if you don't want to. You can sell it yourself, but I would say use an agent. We will market and sell the property for you. We're putting it out on Facebook, we're running ads, and we have it on the MLS, which is a lot more than maybe some realtors do that you would own. But all through the project, you remain the owner, okay? So people worry about this like, well, gosh, if I hired you, that sounds really great, but won't I make less money? You could. There's possibility of making less money. Is unlikely. Compared to losing money trying to do everything yourself and the headaches and what, all goes into this, and you're not an expert, even if you made maybe a smaller profit, but you made a profit and you could do this again and again and again, it's less costly than an expensive lesson, that first flip that didn't go well. So generally though, like I said, our clients have a $50,000 and more profit, and that's even paying us a fee to do this. So, can't you learn how to do this? Of course you can learn how to do a flip. But like I said, most people don't want to become experts in doing this stuff. And so what I do is I meet with you once a week and I teach you what we're doing by watching. Like I'm explaining to you what's happening, explaining to you the sequence. So you're not just investing. You can if you want. There are some people that do that and, never show up to the house, and we get it done and we just tell them, we're putting it for sale. But most people kind of keep an eye on it, want the pictures, want to know what's happening next, why it's happening. You see the process from the inside. And that's the beautiful part, is that you're learning through experience. So you could take your next flip and do it yourself. Most of our clients don't. They just keep doing, you go do it for me. I like getting the money and not having all of this, finding the property, managing all the people and all that stuff. So why don't we take every deal that comes in front of us? Why do I say I don't even take a deal? Well, first of all, not every deal that comes in front of us. In fact, we only really take about, and you should do this too if you're done for yourself, we only take about 10% of all deals that we investigate, because not everything deserves to be bought. Just because it's a good price, it could need tons and tons of renovation that would take a long time. It could be in the wrong neighborhood. It could be in a city where things aren't selling well. It could be, it could have structural issues. Not every deal, write that down if you're doing stuff for yourself, deserves to be bought. And one of the ways that we protect our clients the best in this Done For You program is by saying no, by really, really running the numbers and investigating things and making sure it's right. And so literally about 90% of everything we look at, we don't sign on for. I would much rather walk away from a project than go ahead and do one and promise or have you involved as an investor that doesn't have enough margin. Of course, I mean that just makes sense. So here's one story of how this played out. I had an investor that had been through 2 flips herself, 2, and both of those lost money. One had significant structural issues, and she very, very, very much miscalculated how much it would cost to do the flip and what was needed. She thought she was 3/4 of the way done, and she was actually, the way we got her as a client is she was trying to sell this property that wasn't quite done, and she was out there marketing it to other investors saying it was almost done and you could just pick it up and you would make money off of it, but she was tired of it. And we went out there to see it, and it was a disaster area. There was no way she was making any money on it. So we jumped in and tried to give her some advice and help her out, but she just had invested way too much money and was losing money. So that was her first flip. Then she had this other flip that she was doing it with a partner, and both her and her partner did not know apparently much about it. And so they had this other one that had equal situations and problems that still hasn't been done and still hasn't sold. The permits weren't being pulled, weren't being passed. And my contractor, out of the goodness of his heart, went over there and has tried to help out. She's coming in with us as a client, finally saying, I can't wait to be involved with you guys in your done for you program, where you find the thing, you know what to do, you've got $50,000, and I'll finally make some money. I do not want to be the expert in this. I realize I don't. I like real estate investing. I like the opportunity to have the wealth, but I want you guys to do this. So that is, I mean, she's just learned so many lessons. They found their own deals to begin with, but we've got the opportunity to give her a deal that'll really, really help her. And then, our project managers will keep it organized, and the stress level. Oh my gosh, the stress level is so reduced. I'll give you another example. I had another guy that came in as an investor, and during that time, we found this property that there was probably $200,000 meat on the bone. The owners of the property were going to lose it in foreclosure, and they were doing like a quick sale. They just were trying to find anybody to buy this house. And so I went to this guy that had been talking to me and wanted to invest. And he said, Paula, this just isn't the right time. My father is literally on his deathbed, and I don't have the time to pay attention to this and everything. And I said, you know what? This is a done for you project. So you don't need to spend what you're going to need to spend time on is, dealing with the financing and that kind of thing. And that'll take you like a week of your time off and on. But other than that, we do everything. And so he came in with his father being very ill. And just as we were getting ready to, get the house in his possession, it turned for him. We did all the evaluation of the property. We did all the evaluation of, what we were going to do for the flip. We had the design done, everything. We knew it was great. We knew it was looking at $200,000 on the table. And his father passed. And so he was not available at all. We ran that whole flip, organized it, project managed it, managed the contractors. He's like a team member of ours. He's wonderful. And, ended up, the outcome had just been phenomenal for him. And he's never even been at the house, ever. And it's actually under contract right now and getting ready to sell in like 2 weeks. So you think he's going to come back on and do something else? Now, at the end, there's been a little bit of drama. Always during these projects, there's some drama. There's something that happens. So, there's been this to fix, that to fix. And so he got a little bit like, tired of it. But he's coming right back in to do another one. And that's the beauty of, he's living his life. He lives in another city. He has another job, and he just lives his life. I do meet with him once a week, and we go through what's happening and things like that. But he's involved in some ways. He knows what's happening, but he's there too, because he financed the home and he's receiving a check. So if you've done one or two flips, if you've done like real estate investing, a house that you've gotten and renovated and put out there, and you're wondering, you didn't have the best experience, it was stressful, you didn't make as much money as you wanted to, and you're really wondering if it's real estate does really work, real estate investing does really work, I'm going to tell you, don't quit. Do not quit. You're just looking at it from a different perspective than what it needs. And I'm going to tell you to stop trying to build the airplane while you're flying it. Stop driving down the road at 90 miles an hour and trying to change a tire while you're doing it. There is absolutely a better way. Okay, absolutely. And if you would like to talk to me about finding a property, having me evaluate it, coordinate the renovation, bring it to the market, do all the things I said, and then you collect the profits. You own the home, you collect the profits. Just type in the word flip here, or you can do it in the comments and in a message, and I will connect with you. Or you can go to paulabcoaching.com com and set up an appointment with me, and we'll absolutely set up a conversation with you to figure out if the our Done For You program is something that you really want, how you want to use it, what you're interested in investing in. You don't have to do flips necessarily. You can do multifamily, all the other things, but we'll find out if we're a good fit. And usually I do one Done For You first with you, just so we can see if you like that, if we like, if we work together well, and there isn't a long-term kind of relationship contract requirement if it doesn't work out, and you still walk away with the profits that you get. So I wanted to explain to you that, you've done 2 or 3 and you're not, it's not worked out in the money you're getting, and you're kind of thinking, this isn't for me. Don't quit. There's other ways of doing this, and I would love to talk to you about our Done For You program and see if it works. All right, we'll talk to you soon. I'll be on hopefully tomorrow. I've been really crazy busy lately and haven't done as many lives. I was trying to go live every day. It's not working out. So I hope everybody's having a good one, and we will talk very soon.